Hey class, this is Chris with another video for the week. This week we are focusing on logic, using a few different logic games and then a logic lab to just get you to start thinking a little differently. There's not a lot of heavy math again this week. The idea this week is to use very limited math to think in a different way. When you start a job with an employer, they want you to actually be able to think outside the box, think through a problem, solve it from start to finish. If they needed someone else to do that, they'd ask someone else. They came to you. They want you to be able to do that and to take that off of their plate. They've chosen to delegate to you. So this class, and more specifically this week of this class, is just focusing on thinking maybe a little bit differently than you have in the past to get your mind working in that logical realm. So the first puzzle that you're going to do for this week is this logic puzzle with musical instruments. It says 4 girls are learning about unusual musical instruments. Figure out which instrument each one is learning about. Here we have 4 different instruments. We have an accordion, an oboe, a ukulele, and a xylophone. Each girl is going to play exactly one instrument, and they're all going to play a different instrument. Each girl is either 6, 7, 8, or 9 years old. There's exactly one 6-year-old, one 7-year-old, one 8-year-old, one 9-year-old. In this grid here, you can use it to think through the relationship between the girl's name and the instrument that girl plays. This box lets you look at the relationship between the girl and the age of the girl. And then down here we have another grid that lets you look at the relationship of the age of the girl with the instrument played without the name. So sometimes it's going to be easier to look down here to figure out how old the person playing the oboe is, and then come over here and figure out who could be that age. And we'll do the first. We'll look at this first step together here. But then at the end, they offer this little grid here. This is not one that I'm going to have you turn in. It's one that I want you to try on your own. I want you to work through it. The labs that I have you guys work on that you're not turning in are not just busy work or just things that I want you to think of doing. Doing them is the assignments are meant to help you kind of learn through the material before you get to the homework that's going to be graded. The discussion posts are graded, but the way the discussion posts are graded is more, did you actually discuss what you were supposed to discuss? Was the discussion on topic? It's not necessarily about being right or wrong as it is discussing with each other. Another aspect of a real world application of this class is that many times you are going to be asked to work with others in the workforce. Working with others is just something, it almost doesn't matter what job you have, you're going to have to be able to work with others. And being in an online environment here, this will help you interact with people the same way you would if you were working from home. You're still going to have to work with others. You're still going to have to communicate with others. So the discussion posts then offer that in-class discussion that would normally happen in a face-to-face meeting. So moving on to the actual logic puzzle here, we have the very first thing is Ariella is learning about the accordion. That's pretty straightforward, right? We now know that Ariella is learning about the accordion. What I suggest doing is coming down here, and now we know that Ariella is learning about the accordion. So I would put a circle there, okay? Just a circle that says, yes, this is something we know to be true. And because we know that to be true, then she can't play the oboe, she can't play the ukulele, she can't play the xylophone, nor can any of the other girls play the accordion. And so when you know something cannot be true, I would put an X, and when something can be true, I would put a little circle here. You can do it other ways. This is just the way that I've always done these types of logic games, so it's my suggestion to help you work through it. And then if you do have concerns with this, you have questions, or you just want to check to make sure you did it right, shoot me an email. I will gladly go through the email and respond to you in kind. If you do get tripped up, it's okay. Again, these labs are the learning experience. This takes place instead of a lecture. Instead of you just watching 3 hours of me talking to you in videos, I'm giving you short little videos, but with activity to discover learning. It's called discover learning. You're learning as you do it. So that is this first logic puzzle. Moving on to the second logic puzzle. So here we have what's called Kakuro. This is a Kakuro puzzle. Kakuro is spelled K-A Kakuro. Okay, Kakuro, it's kind of like a cross between a crossword and a Sudoku puzzle of sorts. We're only using the numbers 1 through 9. Okay, numbers 1 through 9, just like the adding fun assignment. Okay, and for each one, so if you think of this as a crossword, okay, then in each word of the crossword, you're not going to repeat any numbers. Okay, so for instance, here we have a 16. If you did the adding fun correctly, you know that the only two numbers that can add up to 16 between 1 and 9 without repeating any numbers is 7 and 9, right? So you're going to have to use a 7 and 9 here. That doesn't mean you can't use a 7 or 9 over here, okay? So this is kind of where the word, the crossword word would be. You just can't repeat numbers here, okay? So the way that you solve these types of puzzles is you look for areas where a number has to be there. Okay, there are many possibilities for some of these. For instance, 7 or 9. We could put a 7 here or a 9 here, a 7 here, a 9 here, and it would still add up to 16. But what you want to look for when you're doing these types of puzzles, the logic behind it, is what has to go right here. Okay, what has to go here? Well, if I put the 9 here, then I need to back up one step. When you're solving these, one more thing, when you're solving these, the words that you would think of, and again I'm using words in the quotation, as going up and down, you're going to look at the number above. Okay, you're looking at the number above. So when I'm talking about this area right here, what we would call like 1 down if it were a crossword, we're looking at these two boxes need to add up to 8. Okay, and then when you're looking at the across, you're looking at the number to the left. Okay, so when I'm talking about 16, it's because this number right here is a 16. So these two boxes need to add up to 16. These 3 boxes here need to add up to 17. And then the 3 boxes, or the 2 boxes here, need to add up to 4 because the 4 is what's above it. You don't need to pay attention to the number below because that's for a different clue. So right here, I need these 2 to add up to 15, and I need these 3 to add up to 11. But this 11 only pertains to this quote-unquote word, or this row of numbers here. Okay, so to get you started, again, there are only 2 numbers that work for 16, and that's 7 or 9. If I put the 9 here, then I've already gone above 8. I can't have a 9 here. So the only thing that works here is if I have a 7, and then the 9 goes here. Okay? Well, if I have a 7 here, and I still need another number here that makes this row 8, 7 plus 1 is 8. Here, I need these 2 numbers to add up to 15, so I have 9 and 6 adds up to 15. Okay. Now 1 and 6 adds up to 7. I need this whole row of 3 to add up to 9. So I have 1, 6, and 2. Okay. And then if you can't figure out what the next box has to be, I would move on to a different area. Or, assuming you're filling this out in pencil and not in pen, what you could do is come down here, and we know the 3 numbers that add up to 7 are 1, 2, and 4. I already have a 2, so this could be 1 or 4, right? This could be 1 or 4. Once I figure out which it is, then I could erase that from the pencil and then write the bigger number of what it actually has to be. So those are just some basic strategies. Go ahead and try this. Again, if you get stuck, shoot me a copy of what you have so far. Since it's not an official submission, this would not need to be a PDF submission. You can just take a picture with your phone and email it to me. Say, hey, this is where I'm at and I'm feeling stuck. Can you help me with the next step? And I'll help you with just the next step. I'm not going to help you do the whole puzzle. I'm not going to give you just the answers. But I might say, hey, you know what? You had a number over here that I think you want to take another look at. I don't know that it had to be that number, but you're treating it as if it does. So if you get stuck, good places to start. I like this box down here. Anytime you see a little number and a bigger number, or like right here, these are usually indications of places where things have to be. Okay, so a little number and a big number, that helps. So again, try these, do your best, email me if you have questions. You do want to make sure that you actually know how to do these before you attempt the homework. There is a Kokoro puzzle on the homework. There are logic questions on the homework. And then the last lab, I've written the logic lab all the way out. Hopefully that explanation is clear enough for you, but in any communication, there is likely to be pitfalls. So absolutely reach out to me if there's some wording that's not clear anywhere, and I'll help you get through it. The idea, again, of the labs is just to help you get through and learn the information before you attempt the homework, where you're going to be graded a little bit stronger. Okay, remember the labs are 10% of the grade, homework is 30% of the grade. So the labs is really where you're going to be learning things, and there's going to be a couple labs that I collect. I have one this week that I collect that I might grade a little bit for accuracy as well. They're not all going to be completion grades. But the purpose behind them is to get you ready for the homework. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. If you could, just so that I know you actually watched the video, I do like it knowing that people have watched my videos. Can you email me? Just email me the word balloon. Not balloon, balloon. Sorry, let me take care of that. The word balloon. And if you just email me the word balloon, or hey, I watched the video, the word is balloon, I might throw one of these in there every now and then just to make sure everybody's watching. And that also helps me know what was useful and what wasn't. So thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you this week.